Pisces.
Okay, I've already done a long video praising the heck out of the original Eye of the Beholder as a masterpiece before on my review of the garbage remake, which you should all see, by the way, because I rock. So I'll try to keep this short. The Eye of the Beholder people actually remember is still a gorgeously crafted icon. I do have some criticisms of it, but I won't deny that it remains as one of the most memorable Twilight Zone cautionary tales ever. For those unfamiliar with the story, the episode follows a hospital patient named Miss Janet Tyler, an outcast from normal society who is imprisoned in this dingy medieval government-controlled hospital to forego a surgery that'll make her less ugly. She is viewed as a freak by the normals of civilization and must receive an experimental treatment that could potentially make her normal, like everyone else. However, she and the medical staff have a lack of faith in their chances of success. The episode does a magnificent job at conveying the seriousness of her situation, thanks to the heavy acting and grim atmosphere. One reason why I bashed the horrific Molly Sims version of the character was because the actress in the old version is pouring her heart out in this. You do truly feel for Janet Tyler in this version, because she knows that if this operation fails, then her life might as well be over. The emotions here are strong.
I never was much for staring up at the sky.
No, I used to like to look at the clouds a lot.
It's time to take your temperature now.
Oh, please, one more thing, nurse.
Well?
When will I take the bandages off?
This episode plainly acts as a take that against racism and prejudice. The plot is mainly about this lady's life being ruined and looked down upon by all the normals living under this world, which we learn is led by this Nazi-esque regime who've convinced the globe that we can achieve perfection by purging the undesirables holding our future utopia back. Why yes, Rod Serling did love demonizing the Reich. A lot!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I shall talk to you about glorious conformity, about the delight and the ultimate pleasure of our unified society.
I love how this episode uses these otherworldly settings as a perfect metaphor to real-world issues. It's what made the Twilight Zone so incredible in the first place. So, excellent drama and good racism bad lesson. What's not to like? Well, honestly, there were two things I disliked. Number one, the extreme lengths the show goes to hide the huge twist. The episode goes out of its way to hide everyone's faces in this, to the point where it almost gets ridiculous how shadowy the hospital is. You see, when Janet's final surgery ultimately fails, we get the big reveal that Janet was actually a hot chick all along, a normal human in our eyes, while the doctors and the normal folks were in fact these twisted, deformed alien monsters. It's a clever way to show us why racism is dumb, since deep down, we are all normal people who have lives and equal rights, while those who hold on to superiority beliefs are truly hideous people themselves. I admire that theme, and the show handles it so well, but my problem is that the shadowy angles kind of give away the twist. They do a good job at hiding Janet's face behind her hush bandages and building up towards her, in fact looking like a regular human, but the doctors really having distorted faces gets more and more obvious as the show carries on. It grows a bit predictable when nobody has their face shown. The doctor sharing a conversation in his office at pitch black was where it was given away that they had their own baggage. Don't get me wrong, I love what this episode is saying, but by today, the Twilight Zone twist isn't as well kept a secret thanks to the show being bad at hiding it.
Brian, you ever see that Twilight Zone episode? You know, where the woman wakes up in the hospital and all the doctors are pigs?
Yeah?
I like that one.
Number 2, I think the Doctor in this was far too melodramatic to take seriously, since his dialogue is not subtle. He gives this spiel on how immoral it is to mistreat a group of odd people and dramatically Shatners it up, but his lines felt way too scripted for a guy who's supposed to be a punch clock villain. So cheesy. That's really all the bad I have. The Doctor is too over the top, and the twist is a Captain Obvious reveal. Other than that, I still value this Twilight Zone as a marvelous story which shaped the series into a household name. One of the truly scariest scenes in the entire episode is when Janet is revealed to still be a human, so she runs away as the alien staff give chase. All while the ugly Hitler alien's rousing speech echoes throughout the halls. Hearing people cheer him on for erasing the toxic freaks who don't belong in their acceptable world. It's a tad goofy with the jump scare aliens, yet it is one of the scariest parts of the tale. Janet soon bumps into another human guy like her who happens to have shown up in case Janet failed to change, so he could escort her back to a colony/concentration camp where she would live out the rest of her life away from all the normals. Boy, it sure was lucky he'd happened to arrive right on cue.
Hey, what a coinkydink.
The doctors sadly inform Janet that she cannot live among their kind anymore, so she must leave with the human agent, Walter Smith, to live away from the rest of the normals, where Janet gives in to her fate while Walter attempts to cheer her up with his Twilight Zone speech.
Why do we have to look like this?
I don't know, Miss Tyler. I really don't know. But you know something? It doesn't matter. There's an old saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, I made myself sad.
And with that downer ending, the outcasts depart from society, leaving us with the powerful F.U. to close-minded racist thinking. The Eye of the Beholder is a revolutionary experience that was so great because of the clever writing and wild trip into an intimidating alien world where we understand what it's like to be a discriminated victim in a society of psychotic hypocrites and small-minded doormats. So for that, I can award it a gold skull. Now, I won't lie, this is not one of my personal favorites of the Twilight Zone series, mostly because I preferred other tales I simply loved more. Yet, I stand by what I said in my old review on how Eye of the Beholder was lightning in a bottle that has never been truly replicated by others, because it was a powerful theme expressed through an unsettling grim narrative and phenomenal acting. So yeah, not too shabby. I think it's good, but not outstanding. Though that doesn't take away anything. Definitely give it a watch if you want to see a decent anti-racism horror story and some high-level concepts. Or if you just want a great terrifying horror story. Whatever. Either way, this Twilight Zone tale shows you some beautiful sights to behold.
Now the questions that come to mind. Where is this place and when is it? What kind of world where ugliness is the norm and beauty the deviation from that norm? You want an answer? The answer is it doesn't make any difference. Because the old saying happens to be true. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Lesson to be learned in the Twilight Zone.